In the world of psychiatry, what's your perspective on what direction we're going?
And I think we often lose sight of the history, but history is really important. And back in the first half of the 20th century, we were in the field of psychiatry primarily focused on non-medication based approaches like psychoanalysis, Freudian and Jungian approaches, and then over time, actually, in large part thanks to the discovery of psychedelic substances like LSD, we were able to start to elucidate what was like how important the serotonin system is, and for regulating our mood, and also all the way going down to, and that's when we started to actually, in large part thanks to the discovery of LSD, we were able to then inadvertently enable big pharmaceutical companies to launch a serotonergic approach to now what we called for the last 40 or 50 years biological psychiatry, right? Where the entire field of medicine was focused on how do we treat psychiatry like a physical illness, where you just give somebody, rather than thinking about it like a chronic long-term issue that might be stemming from past trauma, which is what it actually is. Our field went into, well, maybe there's a molecular origin for these issues people are having. And if there is, then maybe that's why MAOI inhibitors and tricyclic antidepressants. And so that kind of started this era of biological psychiatry that resulted in everybody thinking, and in large part, big corporate entities convincing us that there is a quick fix silver bullet to mental illness, like you are treating an infection with antibiotics. And up until recently, the biological approach alone has not proven that out. So family medicine doctors who are on the front lines, and pediatricians, and of course psychiatrists, but 50% of mental health patients are seen by non-psychiatrists in primary care in the US. I'm sure it's probably similar in Canada. And people are just handing out prescriptions for SSRIs, SNRIs, antidepressants of all kinds, benzodiazepines, which are very dangerous and addictive, opiate narcotics for pain, oftentimes treating chronic physical pain that is perceived as physical pain, but we don't want to treat that with opiates as one example, because those people have a very high degree of likelihood of addiction and overdose ultimately. So looking at where we are, we're in an opioid epidemic, right? And today we're in that substance abuse rates, including opiates, in large part now mostly started by doctors, are on the rise across all domains in the recreational drug space. So clearly something's not working, right? If everything's getting worse, right? We as the doctors, the researchers, we have to maybe take a look at ourselves and what we're doing and be like, okay, wait, is this working? If 50% of people are not getting better, is this working? If 70% of people are not getting better, is maybe our basis for how we treat mental illness is off? And let's go back and reevaluate. So that's kind of where we are right now, is we're in the process of updating psychology and psychiatry with the latest neuroscience on understanding what the evidence really shows about how mental illness, what's at the root of it, which is usually, in almost all cases, processed trauma that's stored in the body. And it's the processing of that gets it out in all and helps people heal in all different kinds of ways.